so let's talk about Xbox and their consoles. This is now, what number is this console for this generation, right? Like this is their fourth console for the generation, minus the remodelings and stuff. It's just their fourth generation. Congratulations to them for making it this far.
Yeah.
Maybe
Further
one
than
day,
Sega apparently.
yeah. So they deserve to get talked about. Like, what was our favorite like design they have done? Now, you know, Nintendo has a lot of designs. PlayStation has a lot of designs. There's designs that we do like, some designs we don't like, but Xbox kind of deserves to be on the table and talk about it. They've done some remodeling and tried some stuff. They definitely they've done some changing on the platform of gaming, you know, from their Ethernet cords to game chat and stuff. So let's talk about some of these. So we have, of course, the 2001 and 2001 of the original Xbox, the OG that people like to call it. Probably the biggest console you could ever have in your home at the time compared to everybody else.
Too.
Yep. You know, guaranteed that there is power in that console and very mighty green.
Yes.
And
drop it on your foot, game over.
Yep. Along with the controller that could also probably break your hand if you're trying to lift it too much. You know, you can probably use those as barbells. Those are the Duke. You know, that baby right there. So that was a very interesting one. Then they kind of got more of the footing a little bit as of going a little bit smaller in a weird way. That is the Xbox 360, probably still to this day their most successful console coming right out of the gate. Their stride of first party development, the first of game chat,
Xbox Live shop, arcade, the shop,
making your profile. Your avatar kind of in a weird way.
The syncing into, you know, if you have a Windows Media set up on your network, it integrates with that. It really tried to be your all-in-one home entertainment.
From the different SKUs, like the arcade one, to like basically kind of goes by how much memory you want on that thing. The changeable faceplates you could put on there, the changeable hard drive you can change to, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, that kind of changed with the Xbox 360. I think what I don't know what that. I guess the Slim, or it was just a remote.
I think it was a Slim. The last one was the E, but the middle one I believe was the Slim.
Yeah.
And that was also partially less prone to red rings of death. We can't talk about the 360 without mentioning the ROODs.
Right. Which, you know, I had one like towards the tail end of my thing, and you know, then, of course, we have probably the most unsuccessful one that probably people know. If you're still holding on to one, shout out to you. But I'm pretty sure now they have stopped making games for this console. That is the Xbox One. The most, I would say, had a bad rep at the beginning as they were trying
the messaging was horrible.
Saying it was always online. All this kind of stuff was not working well with everybody. Then I think this was the beginning of Phil Spencer's job coming in and
clean this mess up.
Clean everything messed up. Say we're not doing this. We're going to change this. Coming out of the gates, this is what we're looking for,
and everything. Game Pass,
and all that. And then we're at here with the last two models. That is the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, which started out pretty slow due to COVID, of course, but also the lack of first party games in development. Now we're trying to. It has now been, 3 years since the consoles came out, and now we're starting to slowly see more games coming into this. But it's all about the model. What is the model that you personally like? For better, for worse, no matter if the console was good or bad or sell terrible, whatever, which one was the model that just like, that model was cool regardless of the situation? So may I go first and tell you what I think the one that stood out to me the most? Man, honestly, to tell you the truth, I honestly like the One X. I thought that model was really kind of slick, kind of cool.
Reminds you of a VCR from your childhood?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I guess so. It was an interesting. I think it's an interesting challenge because you had two designs on top. Like you had like the pure black, and then you had like the kind of the ripple waves on there. I guess like this where the fan blows out and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think it looked cooler when it's laying down than it stood up, though. In my opinion.
Yeah, they actually wanted it to lay down.
Yeah. I guess also too, it kind of feels like if you were like born in the 80s, and this is like what the future of like disk drives and like or floppy disk kind of thing. This kind of shows that a little bit. I thought that was a pretty cool design.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I was feeling that design. I don't know why. And then if I had to pick a runner up, I would say the Series X. I kind of like it. It was kind of solid, kind of straight to the point, very, very simple for what it is. Saved you room. I think compared to all these consoles, this is probably the one that saved the most room in your home and everything. So I think that worked really out. The S wasn't feeling that one with the speaker just sticking out like you could have put that like inside it a little bit. Right,
just
exactly.
rock out on your shoulder like in the 80s.
Right, exactly. But what about you, Mr. Jaron?
I would say first place would have to be the Xbox 360, but the last version, the E.
Okay, that's a good one.
Not just because of design. Well, yes, because of design, because they actually put thermals on that freaking GPU and that CPU, so it didn't red ring.
I feel like it's a prototype to what we got for one, because they look very similar.
Much.
They look very similar. Yeah.
And it was smaller. It was a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easy to replace the hard drive or whatever like that. I liked it. I liked it also had integrated HDMI instead of having to get a separate cord like you did for the original Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say a very close runner-up would have to be the OG Xbox.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, man, they were owning their branding with that. They were saying, you know what? We're big. This is a computer. It has a computer's hard drive in here. It has computer this. It's running on some version of Windows because we're Microsoft. We got 4 controller ports. Only GameCube's the only other system that has that. It came out this generation. You know, you got the breakaway cables. When they were wired cords, they could break away because they know people sitting way back and some asshole little brother or your careless mom with the vacuum cleaner or whatever would run across that. I love that. I loved how everything was built in. You had there was no Wi-Fi unless you got an adapter. It was Ethernet. It was like broadband's the way of the future. Cry about it. I was like, yes, sir. Let's do it.
I guess like the interesting part about that console is I think it was too. Like you said, like they were really selling it. I think it was too cocky for their own good. I think that was my big turnoff. It's like, who the hell are you to like splatter your big ass X on the console and say, "Look at me"? Like at
we're
least,
Microsoft, baby,
right? Like even like PlayStation, Nintendo never did that. Like they never splattered like a giant thing. Of like, look at us. Like I have never seen Nintendo splatter humongously on their console. It's like on the side or something or small, but it never like splattered like across per se. And PlayStation was the same way.
It was cultural. It was cultural, which is also why the Xbox, especially the first one, did not do well in Japan, especially with the first controller. They had to come out with the revamped smaller controller,
you know,
and the system that did not fit on most Japanese citizens' entertainment shelves, entertainment units. It took up the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
but it was cocky. It was tone deaf as far as international appeal. But damn it, it still got my attention.
I will say though, like the Xbox OG does deserve some credit for. Actually, not them. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I have to give third parties credit for just putting games on that console with like just taking a chance on it. Like Sega throwing stuff on there because they treated it as it was like the spiritual successor to the Dreamcast. Capcom threw some stuff in there.
Yes,
a lot of developers just took a chance on this because it was kind of like, this is the West. This is our Western console. And I'm not talking about just America. I'm talking about like Europe too. Like this was like the West. So like everybody throws stuff in there. And then some Japan were like, okay, we'll see what you give there. Because like I would say that like Sega supported very well. Capcom, I don't think they threw any of their important games on that console, right? You know what I mean? Like, sure, you got Onimusha, Gemma, Onimusha, but you didn't get
the definitive.
You got Phantasy Star, but online only Phantasy Star. Like you got some okay ones, but you didn't get like some of their biggest Capcom games over there. I would argue.
No, you didn't, and it really brought into the whole
like
console
Resident Evil.
war.
Like I don't even remember Resident Evil being on that console. I remember Dino Crisis.
Yeah. Let's see. Resident Evil OG Xbox?
I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing that on that console. If it exists, I don't remember the box. But I remember Dino Crisis 3.
Well, here's the thing. OG Xbox had the Dino Crisis 3 port, so you're right.
Yeah.
But Capcom had a deal with Nintendo doing the games at the time.
True.
But by the time that deal ended, you had Resident Evil 4 on the PS2. Xbox was like, where our game at? And they're like,
but one company, and we'll wrap this up, but one company that did not support that thing was Square Enix, right? Like Square Enix was not touching that console whatsoever. So you never got
PlayStation's buddy.
Yeah, so you never got Final. I mean, hell, even Nintendo at least got some scraps from Square Enix, right?
Chronicles.
Yeah, hey, I said scraps, but yeah, they got some stuff for them, even for their Game Boy Advance. They got some love over there. They got a little bit of love, but they've got nothing. Nothing.
I don't think they got a single Final Fantasy game until Final Fantasy 13 on the 360.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 13
and 11.
Those 3 games.
And 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
They got 11 and 13, and that was like as far as original titles. I don't even think they got. Did they get 15 on the Xbox One? I don't know.
Yes, they did. I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't exclusive yet. No. It wasn't exclusive at the time.
But that was pretty much it. Microsoft had to go find their own RPGs.
Right. So I had to give them credit for trying to like dig their own hole to pull out these kind of games. But you knew but you always can count on at the time Sega and Capcom to put something over there.
Microsoft made chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But what about you guys? What do you think is your favorite design console by Microsoft? We'll love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. And also check out some our other clips and videos that we have done. So